So John, you were on tour with Periphery in America. I got stuck there, and there were rumours that you would replace Alex Boyce. What can you say about that tour in general?
The tour was really, really fun. Like, actually, before the tour, I really hated Fair to Midland from their like sounds on the internet, but then after listening to them live, listening to the new album, they're actually probably one of my favourite bands now. Like, really good. Test Track Boys, apart from only having 3 days to learn their set in America, went really well. Yeah, it was really, really fun. Like, it's really fun playing with like different musicians that kind of try and do a similar thing, but slightly different. So you can almost take like ideas and steal things from it. So yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I guess Ollie isn't here, but maybe you can speak to this. Ollie played in Cyclamen before you guys, and he also was filling in for Chim Spanner. Yep. How did you guys get in contact with him, and like how did he become the guitarist?
I think you went to see him.
I went to a Tesseract show in I think in London, the Pub Hotel, and I met him there. I'd never met him before, and we were kind of talking. And Paul had, like, only a couple of days ago said that he might not be able to do more tours because he was filling in for us. And yeah, so he came up to us, and I was just saying, yeah, there might be an open spot, and he just jumped on my shoulder for the whole night. He wouldn't leave me alone, so I'm just like, yeah, let's give it a try, and it ended up working out really well.
And he's a really good guitarist, so
yeah, he's actually really good.
That's what we do. We just assassinate bands still.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even we were looking for a vocalist for what, a year?
Long.
Like we did 2 tours with filling guitarists. We couldn't find one again.
Maybe we're just too anal.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we just hate everyone.
Maybe need to assassinate a vocalist.
Yeah, we've actually been thinking about that actually as well.
Yeah.
It's not a nice thought at all. Like, I mean, it happens so much, and it's like it seems like a bit of a grey area.
It could backfire, like the Tesseract Dan thing as well. They stole him from First Times Across, and then he left to.
And someone's looking for like the next best thing constantly. If that's how they get into you, that might be quite easily how they get out and stuff. So there's a load of things to take into consideration.
Yeah, we even also like Dillinger's vocalist.
Yeah, we even made with Greg.
That was crazy, yeah.
That would be pretty surreal. I guess.
He actually replied back.
Oh.
Which was pretty amazing actually. Yeah, like, and then I met him a few days later. Drums, unfortunately, so I made a fool of myself, but yeah, at least he replied back. And he liked the track, so that was cool.
So recently, the video for Memoirs surfaced with the old vocals and everything. The whole situation was really confusing. Nobody really knows actually what happened. What's the story behind that video?
I don't know what happened.
Nobody knows. So the video was like on Vimeo.
It was uploaded there when it was finished editing. When we filmed it here in Cologne in February, and we got the masters of it through Vimeo in about May or so. And by that time, everything had disintegrated with what we'd been doing, and so we were the thought that this wouldn't be a good idea to advertise this in its current format because it wouldn't be showing, you know, if we were to do it like a music video.
We actually planned on releasing it, but not before the album. So we wanted people to sort of like get the new stuff. That's what I thought we were doing.
We had a bit of a split.
You know, we just don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, we're not with that. That's why.
From what I heard, you didn't even know the password for the video.
I didn't know. I didn't even know the password. It's changed. Like I saw.
Yeah, Browne didn't want it going out there.
No, I didn't know.
I think someone just thought that it was a shame to just leave it to the vaults of history. So
someone
leaked it.
Okay. What's the current progress of your debut album? John, you stated in an interview that it will feature 9 tracks in it. Is that still correct?
Actually,
it's 9.5.
It's 9.5. Well, 10.
Yeah, there's basically there'll be like a secret track on that somehow.
Don't know how.
In a really esoteric way, but would probably be.
We've been looking into cool ways to do that.
Yeah.
But we're actually playing all 10 tracks today.
Today, yeah, the whole album.
There's only 1 track out of place. The rest is in order.
For the most part, all mixes are finished, and now we're just in the last stages of negotiations, and then just.
Basically, we can't do anything until we find a vocalist. So, vocalists, please.
Yeah, this is worldwide shout.
Yeah, worldwide.
We need a vocalist or a sax player.
We actually found a
sax player. I'll do that.
We've actually had a sax player.
We thought about getting like 2 horns.
Yeah, like Panzer Ballet, you know.
Well, a singer and a horn player would just be the best. Like, or just breaking boundaries.
Keyboards, bagpipes, tablet.
A call to musicians everywhere.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, the album has been sat on my computer finished since what, August last year.
It's been morphing format for a while, and it's been getting more and more finished.
I'm bored of it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. I just want to write music.
It's horrible.
So it's kind of like the same situation that Tesseract's one. Like it was around for so long.
Every other band in Detroit.
Yeah, but
even they managed to get their shit together.
And Phil Charter.
And
damn, man, yeah, they both managed.
Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Okay. You announced earlier, right after the vocalist leaving, that the album will feature an array of guest vocalists.
Yeah, we actually pieced.
Why was this plan later on abandoned?
It's not actually been abandoned at all. It's just that, like,
no one's done it.
No one's done it. Like,
nothing. Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't really say names, but I can probably say one name that's continually been in touch with me. Actually, is Kim from Dead Letter Circus, who was going to feature her. And like he really wants to do it. It's just finding the time in between doing all of Dead Letter Circus. But yeah, he emails me like every few weeks and say like working on it.
And Spencer did a tiny little bit. Or something.
Yeah, that was actually amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was absolutely stunning.
Peripheries, vocalist. Yeah.
I think in fact there's been loads of talks with us and potentially like working alongside him with the vocals and the album, depending on whatever comes about. But he's
like producing vocals.
Yeah,
he's a great mindset to have on it.
He's probably the only vocalist that like out of all these tribes has actually listened to the music and put something over it that worked with it. That didn't just sound like like it was been placed on top. It found like it was interweaving around the music, almost like an extra dimension rather than just sitting on top. So.
Well, I think Spencer's a really hard-working guy, and that's what got the gig in Periphery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every day he ran through the set like line by line twice before he went up on stage.
And obviously being on tour with Periphery for 6 weeks, I heard him every single night for 6 weeks, and he can nail it every single night. So.
Do you already have a time frame set for the release, or?
Nope.
Not until the vocalists.
It's basically open to the negotiations of the vocalists, and then
because the only problem we have is we can do guest vocals, but then we can't tour it because there's not going to be anyone
can't go over
10
vocalists
to sing all those different styles unless we find someone who's amazing, like so we could release it instrumentally, but we don't know how that would go down, and we don't want to release it again with vocals after releasing it instrumentally because it's just a big problem.
Yeah. If we put out an instrumental,
catch-22.
It's like what we've kind of learned from like what other bands have done. Like a lot of people complain that Tesseract released the EP and then released the album with only like 4 new songs that weren't new.
No.
Like, the only new song on there was Eden. Like the rest had already been released before. So like obviously we don't want to do that, which is kind of why we haven't released any new music either instrumentally.
But obviously this style of music isn't really backed by any amount of money, so it's kind of it's very like roots. Yeah, cool. We have to try and do everything. So
just some more general questions. There are like so many bands from the UK here right now. Do you know why the UK scene is like kind of really strong at the moment?
Milton Keynes.
Milton
Keynes, yeah.
Yeah, the UK's kind of been doing this for quite a long time actually. Like Fell Silent obviously started in 2003.
The UK got really oversaturated with deathcore and a lot of stuff for a while. Like the scenes, all especially in London, got really stale for a while. And I think like the internet arrival of Periphery and then that status on Britain really like influenced.
And when when I was growing up, I used to love like Sixth and Sugar.
Obviously, I forgot about Sixth. Sixth pretty much started the whole thing.
That was boost the whole UK scene.
Yeah.
Like
the
everyone wanted to make some really progressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing music.
Actually, it's kind of like Sixth were kind of like not many. Well, they do now, but like when they were around, no one really gave a fuck. If you know what I mean? Like
as soon as they were gone, they were
so
like.
when they like the artist who dies, and then everybody pieces of shit.
Yeah. Same as Candiria as well. I feel for America.
But yeah.
So John, recently you collaborated with the progressive sampling line ATO.
Yep.
With Peter Graves from Red Seas Fire.
Yep, Peter Graves. I actually didn't have any communication with him that whole thing actually, but because I was just like I only had 3 weeks to write all that stuff, so I was kind of in a state of panic.
Nailed it out.
Yeah, panic. Yeah.
I liked it.
So did ATO bring you two guys together, or?
No. It was actually Jan. He works for Periphery. Jan Hoagland. He like deals with artist relations for Periphery, and actually, funny story is they asked Misha to do, but Misha's been really busy doing quite a lot of other stuff. So like Jan was like, oh, they want this to help people that can't write this style of music. I think that's also, like, I know a lot of people have been complaining about it because it's like, you know, oh, it's going to ruin like the gen scene and stuff, but it's not aimed towards people who already write it. It's almost like getting a sample pack for dubstep when you can only write metal and you want to put dubstep into metal. It's kind of like that. Yeah,
or if you make film soundtracks or soundtrack for
a film game, then you can like add that element into it and the planes and
exactly
atmospheric.
Well, the guy that owns 8Dio is the guy that did the Tomb Raider soundtracks, and he also did Spider-Man 3 and stuff. So he can't write that style of music and wanted to incorporate it into his style of writing as well, I think. So that's where he got the idea. So yeah.
So you guys played here last year?
Yeah. Yeah, we headlined last year.
Yeah. So how do you think the festival has come on since then?
Well, last year was a different venue, and this is just like in 1 year the whole scene has felt like it's kind of grown up.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to have upped their game. Like when last year Bogan's Way, like everyone kind of did quite a good job, and it was amazing to see. Like the atmosphere was great, but then it's coming to here, everyone's really like, especially everyone we think who came from last year, like Fuljana and I'm sure like the rest of the Uneven, they done
Tim Spanner and Progma C. No, don't forget Progma C. I don't think really many people know about Progma C, but they were my favourite band last year.
More people need to see them for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, definitely. Can't wait to see them.
Yeah, you can't see me, so they're too drunk.
And last year most of the bands were unsigned, and now like you see all these names, like last year we had Uneven Structure and Villiard, and now they're coming back here with label backing. So what do you feel about like the labels are really getting interested in this whole scene? Yeah. That's a positive development, like.
Yeah, well, definitely positive.
But they've got something to work with, and something that like for once isn't fake at all. It's like there's this real like genuine love for this festival. You can really see it, the tangible network that everyone has.
It comes from the whole generation of like people in the UK who like listen to grime and dubstep and make it in their rooms and stuff. This is just the metal equivalent.
So any last words, any shout outs, whatever?
Please find us a vocalist.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think we'll probably title this like in all caps, Monuments Need a Vocalist.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you
you for all you guys and your help, and John and everyone who set up Euroblast.
Yeah, thank you for constantly posting about us on like Gotcha and stuff as well.
It's like your, half our PR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Alright, thanks guys.
Thank you very much.